All right, welcome everybody. Act 37, here we go. There's a lot of streams going, so we'll make sure to pull up all the best ones. Make sure we're going live here. Sorry for the late start. Let me shout out some people in the chat. Beebs Arelli, Mike Rolton, Timbuk2, welcome everybody. Welcome Steph Key. Welcome highest ranking Anon. $99 Red B, welcome. Timbuk2. Thanks for being here, everybody. Just getting started here. Okay, we got some, welcome Charlotte sometimes. Thanks for being here. Suj Ramas, Didi, Trevina, welcome. Adam Mitchell, I don't remember if I shouted you out yet. Welcome. Newt, Bori, Claire, welcome everybody. Welcome Jarasco. Rins, welcome. I'm gonna look around for some other streams. I saw a bunch of people are streaming live, which is awesome. Toulouse looks a bit wet right now. I don't know if that was the water cannons or... Wow, another big week. I love it. Let's put that one up here. So they had some rain in Toulouse, but it's still well attended. Looks like Jute got over 500 subscribers. That's awesome. She still has another couple to go before she gets to 1,000. So if anyone hasn't subscribed to Jute yet, here's a link to her channel. Oh, Dee Dee says we have an interesting panel. Let's open that up.
Oh, I don't know. It'll probably be. I don't know. You gotta
is that
click
it?
the link. That's the link. Yeah.
Okay.
I got number 2 as well. I got a follow up of this as well.
Okay.
Like the number 2
Great.
where he's up in the tower doing this shit, and he's like hanging on 60 meters above the ground or something. See, and he
So they
continues to
can't
talk.
say they haven't done the research. That's what they're trying to say right now. That's
Hi,
why
Tim.
the military has it.
Good morning, panel. How's everybody?
Hey, yeah.
Tim.
We've been going for 2 hours, but okay.
Excellent.
You needed some sleep. Yeah, I'm broadcasting on VK, but you can take over now. And
Excellent.
I'll keep broadcasting now, and I'll tell my audience of 2.
Keep streaming.
I'll tell my audience of 2. Well, from now on it's Tim Truth running the show again.
No, I feel like I interrupted a good conversation, so we can keep chatting on whatever you guys were talking about if you want.
Well, 5G. We were talking about
5G towers, yeah. Interesting.
Well, not just 5G towers, but 5G in general, what it's going to do. And this guy, I just played a clip of the guy that's basically installing it. And he's basically telling you, you feel free to name your tumor after me.
Yeah. Look up beamforming. You got to look up beamforming. That's how they can target to the individual level with this technology. They don't need 5G for beamforming, by the way. They can do that through 4G.
Yeah.
By the way, Tim, you promised me a 5G channel in a 5G chat room somewhere in your thingy, in your server.
Oh, let me make you a mod, and then you can make whatever. Now you're an
No, thanks. Yeah.
you're a mod, and you can make whatever
Okay, yeah.
channels you want.
I'll be careful with it.
Good morning,
I know.
Tim. How are you?
I've been running a server with 600 people for a while, so I know.
Yeah, great. No, I trust you. I trust you.
Well, I won't abuse it.
Good morning, serious humorist. Good morning. Glad Rob and Noma could make it here.
Yes.
Sorry for the late start,
good morning,
everybody.
Tim.
No,
was late
it's
myself.
okay, man.
We
Serious
heard a
humorist,
rumor that you stayed up late last night with some crazy person.
serious humorist and I were dissecting moon footage late last night. And but yeah, I should have gotten up earlier. I woke up and then I was like, oh, no yellow vest yet. So I went back and snoozed a bit, and then yeah, it's all right. We're going now. So any yellow vest stuff that I missed?
Nice action Paris, nice action in Toulouse.
Yes.
Jude is online, Jimodine
Yep.
is online.
I streamed them for a while, but my computer was running hot.
Oh, I see. Now, I had an interesting article I wanted to share with everybody that I found. Wives of police officers were coming public. It was a little bit, I don't know if I liked the message exactly, but it was interesting. So I want to read through this. It was on RT. It was called Political Pawns, ? Wives of French police officers demand government action amid suicide epidemic. So my question, of course, is like, what action are they asking from the government? It all kind of hinges on that. Oh wow, look at, there's a lot of people out in Paris, as this shot shows here. But let me keep going through this article a little bit. It says rising street violence coupled with government inaction has created intolerable conditions for France's police force. According to wives of officers who spoke with Rupley, their concerns come amid a spike in police suicides. Weekly Yellow Vest demonstrators against President Emmanuel Macron's austerity measures have strained France's police force, which has already experienced fatigue due to personnel and funding shortages. It doesn't seem like they've had any funding shortages. Also, they talk about Emmanuel Macron's austerity. That really jumped out at me, because there's multiple definitions of austerity. One is like being stern or severe, and then the other is more economic, and it talks about reducing government budget deficits through spending cuts and tax increases. Well, I guess that's what he's doing. Tax increases and spending cuts. And people are left with a government they're asking, where's the value here? They can afford tear gas, but they can't afford anything good for good. So it says so far this year, 37 cases of suicide have been reported among the French police, compared to 35 in 2018. So what? Oh, here's one quote I'll read. And sorry for the background noise. My other computer kicked on. I'll shut this off. Police forces are here to ensure safety in this country, says one wife, and not to be beaten up. I am against violence from either side, but if the government does not react, the police won't hold for long. It's time to wake up. And it is a little humorous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Given that the police have been brutalizing people for weeks.
Yeah.
For
time to
months.
wake up indeed.
And it's there was another interesting article from Twitter that I found. Let me see if I can find it. Basically, a man who had his son's eye shot out by a police officer was arrested for apparently threatening an officer. He was quoted as saying, "Oh, let me read it exactly if I can find it." Here it is. translate this. The title is His Son Loses an Eye During a Demonstration. He takes a policeman and threatens. Doesn't translate very well, the second half. So he calls out this police officer who he may or may not have been tracking or stalking. And he says, "Your kid is lucky. He has beautiful eyes, you know." And so they're saying that he threatened a child under the age of 15. Even though the police officer apparently shot this guy's child's eye. So,
well,
yeah.
you know how it goes. They can threaten you, and you cannot threaten them.
Right. Exactly.
You're not allowed to wear a face mask. They can be dressed like Hannibal Lecter and worse.
Star Troopers.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it's really messed up.
Did you get the message, Tim, that Guinevere, the elderly woman that was run over by the police and had skull breaks?
Yes, I remember Genevieve, her incident.
Yeah.
What any
Well,
story? Any news?
Public prosecutors found the police not guilty.
Wow. That's incredible. That's so terrible.
Of course.
I remember when it first happened that they didn't even want to take responsibility. They were like saying it was her fault. They said she got startled and fell over, and then they had to backtrack on what they said, because there was video footage of it, and
I
that's
don't know,
ridiculous.
It was the public prosecutor saying they found the police not guilty in the article. It didn't say anything about a judge, so I don't know if they can appeal.
That's crazy. I feel like the public prosecutor's job is to make the case for the state, and then the defendant. Well, I would think that they would have a public defendant, right? Because she's the one making the claim that they attacked her. I don't know how it works exactly in France.
Yeah, but because it's a police matter, maybe the state takes over,
Sounds like it. It's too bad.
like in the military.
She should be compensated for her hospital expenses and such.
That at least, and maybe some satisfaction on the police officer who ran her over. And the police officer who stepped over her.
I think so. That would only be right and fair.
But then you expect justice, and when you look closer at justice, you'll see that it's just ice.
Well, people say that. I don't know what that means though. What do you mean ice?
Well, it's a play on words to begin with.
Yeah, I get the play on words. I just
But,
don't
I
get what
mean-
it means.
Well, it means it's just cold. I mean, they
Oh,
don't
I
care.
see,
They
I
don't
see.
give a fuck, you know. I mean, what they do is they are working for the system. So how can you expect a judge that gets paid by the system to rule against the system? How can you expect that?
Or it's just us, just
Yeah,
this.
just us.
just
Yeah,
us.
just us. Yeah.
Right.
And it's interesting when you think of France just had a ruling where you can't release any. People can't analyze judges' rulings with math. They can't
Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
So
You've had
basically,
enough to think today.
they're so corrupt that they're like, you can't even crunch any numbers on the judges, and it's all confidential.
Of course not.
And
Yeah,
so
of course not.
they're all corrupt in my
It
book.
would expose their corruption. Yeah. Well, you know, when you're living in a country where exposing the criminality of your government is criminal, then
Yes.
you know that you're that you're living in a tyranny, right?
Yeah.
That's where we are. I mean, I mean, it's the same in America, you know. You're allowed to criticize the U.S. state, but you're not allowed to criticize Israel when you're living in America, because they don't fall under the First Amendment.
Over half of them, they hold dual citizenships, don't they?
89% of the House members hold dual
Yes.
citizenship, and then they decide to give them $43 billion, and then of course they
Yes.
get money back from the back door to make sure that they get reelected. Yeah, yeah.
And that's interesting, isn't it? In what country is that? It's Russia, right? They're always talking about Russia collusion. So it must be
United
Russia.
States, yeah, United States, yeah.
No,
United States of Russia.
but what?
When all else fails, blame Russia.
Yeah, exactly. What are the
Yes.
dual citizens though? The dual citizenships. Israel, right? And you never hear anyone
US
talk about.
Israel.